That's a good question. So there's a lot of things that parents can do to help children try a new food. The best thing that parents can do is by modeling eating the food themselves. So enthusiastic modeling, you try the food, you say, carrots. And this teaches the child that this food is, that it's a food, that it's edible, that it's safe, and that it tastes good. And then the child will want to try it. The kids want to be like their mom and dad, or even like their older brother and sister. So if you have an older child who likes the food, this can be even more effective. Another thing that works is reasoning. So with a little bit older kids, you can tell them why they should eat the food. So you can tell them that the carrots will make their eyes strong, they taste good, or you could even tell them that the food is like another food that they know, so that it makes it a little bit less new and scary. So we had one mom who said, you should try prunes, they're like a big raisin. A thing to avoid would be using another food as a reward. So if you have your broccoli, you can have ice cream. This really communicates to the child that broccoli is bad and ice cream is good. And in the long run, this can have consequences that they'll like the broccoli less, and they may be less likely to choose it in the future when they can pick their own foods. But also we found in toddlers, in the short term, it doesn't work either. That the kids get so distracted by the reward that they won't even eat the broccoli. So we want to tell parents it doesn't work in the short run with toddlers, it doesn't work in the long run, so this was one to avoid. So texture is really important in food acceptance. Usually when we think about why a child likes or doesn't like a food, we focused on the taste and maybe the smell, but actually texture, we're learning more and more that this plays a strong role as well. That kids may not like the food because of the texture in their mouth, so if it's chewy or squishy, but it could also be the texture on their hands, that if it's slimy or squishy, that they don't want to touch it. And so it could be just that a different preparation of the food, if you serve the vegetables, for example, raw, so that they're crunchy, or if you freeze a food so it's less squishy or cut it thin, or even give the child a fork so they don't have to touch it, that these can also help children to accept foods. So we want parents to offer foods multiple times to get children to come to like it. And one way that they can maybe increase their chances of success is to prepare it a different way to also change the texture. Okay, so parents of picky eaters, we want to reassure them, first of all, that they shouldn't worry, that picky eating is a phase and usually it passes, but we understand that it's a stressful period. So we want to remind them that if their child doesn't like a food, they should keep trying, keep offering it. The general rule is 8 to 10 times usually will come to like a food. And like I said before, if we offer it in different ways, if we try different preparations, if you try steaming it or boiling it, if you offer it raw, if you change the texture, that this may also help the child to accept it. You should model eating the food so you show that it's good and the child will want to eat it with you. And if you can, to give your child some choices of what to eat and involve them in the food preparation, that this will also help them to want to try the food.